Midco Arena, the site of tonight's game, as the Briarwood Infinity play their second straight home game. Their last one, a loss to Tannerford. They hope to recuperate after starting the season 5-0, now sitting at 5-1. They host the Lake Lauren Sirens tonight. In the lineup for Lake Lauren, there you see him playing his first season in Europe in nearly 20 years. Giannis Antetokounmpo teaming up tonight alongside Javon Carter. The Lake Lauren Sirens, Briarwood Infinity, underway here at Midco Arena in Briarwood. Denatenia set for the tip. He's lost one this year. That remains at one as he wins this back to Makarov. Makarov tosses back to Davies. Davies well guarded, loses the handle. Montgomery Nelson unable to get the ball as it bounces out of bounds, and the Sirens will take over early. Inbound from Terry to Antetokounmpo. Guarded by Makarov in a bit of a mismatch of heights. Antetokounmpo getting the better. Double teamed. Montgomery Nelson throws it back to Alex Caruso, who's wide open, misses the shot, and rebounded back the other way for Briarwood. Denatenius now back to Davies, had his pocket picked in the first possession. Now back to Montgomery Nelson, taking it to the house. Over Caruso, has it himself and puts up the first two of the game. Carter carrying down the court for the Sirens. Back to Antetokounmpo. On his own, Denatenius put up a foul, and Antetokounmpo goes to the line for a three-point play. As we mentioned, has not played in Europe in nearly 20 years. Back then, he was in his native Greece, decided to try his hand at Switzerland, as all the athletes seem to be doing. Has been mentioned a generous gift by the royal family to the Sporting Commission in Switzerland. Larger payrolls mean better players for all of the teams, more competitive play, and now you see Montgomery Nelson, another American import, carrying it inbounds and putting another two up as they take the lead 4-3. No players on either team native to Switzerland, as the Greek Antetokounmpo now faces another test with the Russian Makarov. Now the American Montgomery Nelson putting two hands in front of the face of Giannis Antetokounmpo when he misses that shot. Makarov now down the court. A reach-in foul called there against Lake Lauren. It'll be Denatenius to inbound. Tosses over to Montgomery Nelson. Down to Johnson. Johnson taking a deep three. This one bounces over the top of the rim, and Antetokounmpo with the rebound. Lake Lauren down the court. On him now is Montgomery Nelson. Great moves, but Montgomery Nelson stays on, and Caruso has the ball on the right corner at the top of the key, looking for help. He's isolated with Makarov. Back to Antetokounmpo, puts up a three. This one in and out and rebounded by Denatenius. Davies back the other way for the Infinity. Down into the corner for Montgomery Nelson. Taking it himself, loses the handle, and picked up by Terry. Fast break. Great defense by Makarov, but Antetokounmpo has his fifth point. 5 of 5 now of the points for Lake Lauren. He swats that one there and has his first block of the game. 5-4 the score. It'll be an inbound underneath their own basket. Davies now for the Infinity. In the corner for Johnson, looking for help. Denatenius coming to his aid on Caruso. A deep two by Johnson. In and out. Denatenius unable to get the rebound, and back the other way is Antetokounmpo. Great start for the Sirens. Specifically, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has history with the man guarding him now. Off the bench is Jason Tatum. Ball in the corner for Carter. Up top for Terry. Back to Caruso. 5 on the clock. 2 to shoot. Will put one up over Makarov. This one does not go. Rebounded by Denatenius, and now Johnson over to Tatum. Picked up by Antetokounmpo. A great game for him so far. A block. Now a steal. At least one rebound and 5 points as a shot put up there by Carter not going. Back the other way now, Denatenius. Davies for 3. Puts one up. This one does not go. None from 3 from either team now. Terry looking to go down low. Can't find a man. Antetokounmpo. Pass tipped, but kept by Vukovic. Puts one up. In and out. Rebounded by Johnson. Davies now. Back to Denatenius. Up top for Johnson. Johnson puts up a deep three. Nothing going. Still no threes made by either squad, and several have been taken by Briarwood. Antetokounmpo now guarded by Tatum. Pushing his way into the paint. Can't get anything going. Back now to Vukovic. Guarded by Denatenius. Terry. Making space. Back to Antetokounmpo for three. Guarded well by Tatum, but Tatum steps into the play and is called for a blocking foul with 52 on the clock. No bonus. 51 seconds in the first quarter. Terry will inbound. Finds White off the bench and puts his first two up. It's 7-4 now in favor of the Sirens. Inbound to Davies. Back out to Denatenius up top. Doubt he'll shoot a three. Carries it himself. Give and go to Makarov. Puts one up. This one bounces off the backboard and off the rim. Desunmu takes it now. Down in the corner is Terry. Guarded by Makarov. Desunmu. Charging double-teamed with Vukovic. Vukovic guarded by Tatum. Puts one up. Great off the glass. And Vukovic has his first points of the night, as it's 9-4 with 15 seconds on the clock. No shot clock. Tatum now. Making space back to Christopher. 7 on the clock. Down low is Makarov, taking it himself, putting 2 in, and 3.8 on the clock. Leaves a 9-6 score for the Sirens to take a last-second shot. Shot is up off the rim, but nothing going. 9-6 the score here in Briarwood in favor of the Lake Lauren Sirens. Giannis Antetokounmpo has 5 points for this Sirens offense. They will have the ball to start the second quarter live here from Briarwood at Midco Arena. Drummond inbounds to White. White now has a man down low, can't get anything past Williams. Finally toss it back to Drummond. In the corner is Jones, guarded by Christopher. Jones, isolated, gets a screen, finally throws it back, but it's intercepted there by Tatum. Christopher down now for Lofton Jr., puts it up and has his first 2 of the game. It's a 9-8 game. Single point separates the leading Lake Lauren Sirens. The ball now inbounded to Jones on the Lake Lauren side. Guarded well by Christopher. Back to Antetokounmpo. Guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Takes a deep three. This one in and out and rebounded by Lofton. Williams taking it down the court himself. Charges in. Great swat there. And out of bounds Antetokounmpo as his second block of the game. Great defense by the Greek Freak. Back to Montgomery Nelson now as the inbound. And he's fouled in the act of passing. It'll be a reach and foul called against the Sirens. Inbound by Lofton from the side. Looking for Montgomery Nelson up high. Finds him. Guarded by Caruso. Throws it over to Tatum along the side. Back to Montgomery Nelson. Looking to make a move on Caruso. Does. Charging low. This one well defended. And Carter has it back the other way. No points off the board for Briarwood. Score remains 9-8. Carter. Round the horn to Antetokounmpo. Guarded loosely by Lofton Jr. Tosses it to Drummond. Now Drummond looking to go down low for Antetokounmpo. Makes an effort over 2 players. No foul called. And the ball bounces wide for Johnson to take it down the court. Takes it himself. Fouled in the act of shooting. He'll have 2 from the line. First one from Johnson is loose. Bounces off the rim wide. Has not seen much from the line this season. He goes 1 for 2 this game. Score tied at 9. We have 3.5 to go as Antetokounmpo carries it down for the Sirens. Guarded poorly by Johnson. Takes one from the free throw line. And now he has 7. As Johnson will take it down the court. Down 2. It's 9-11 now. As Makarov tries to charge into the zone. Back at the top of the key is Christopher. Screen set by Makarov. Give and go there. Intercepted by Drummond. the second turnover on a give and go today, but Montgomery Nelson does one himself, and Makarov now has it down the other way for Briarwood. Up for the Infinity. Shot not going. He'll have 2 from the line as he's fouled in the act of shooting by Andre Drummond. Makarov. First one is up. First one is good. Cuts the lead to 1. Makarov. Perfect from the line. It's a tie game at 11 as Drummond inbounds now to Terry for the Sirens. Guarded by Tatum. Drops it back to Antetokounmpo. Double teamed now by Tatum and Johnson. Ball picked up by Johnson. Great play there. Back to Makarov. Has a slam as they go 2-on-1 against Antetokounmpo and take the lead for the first time tonight. Second time tonight. They did have a 4-3 lead earlier this game. Tatum guarded Terry, who carries the ball down for the Sirens. Over to the side for Drummond, guarded by Makarov. Screen set, Antetokounmpo with the ball from the top of the key, guarded by Johnson. Over to Terry now. Tries to get it down low to Drummond, up on Makarov. Makes an effort. Makes 2 efforts. Makes 3 efforts. Finally gets a hook shot in. Unable to get that to go, but gets his own rebound and slams it home for a 13-13 score. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Tatum carrying down now. Looking to take the lead with Makarov. Makarov make a move on Drummond. Circles around him and takes 2 of his own with a one-handed slam down below. Fyodor Makarov, the big Russian. Inbound to Antetokounmpo. Guarded by Johnson. Johnson has played poor on defense most of this season. It's been a weak point in their lineup, but a time taken by the Sirens as Briarwood has a 15-13 lead with less than 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Terry to inbound. Finds Carter down low, going to the basket. Stops as he steps into the paint. Nothing going. Rebounded. Now Montgomery Nelson going back the other way. Caruso on him. Hook shot. Well defended. Caruso got a hand on it. And now back the other way for Lake Lauren. Carter. Blocked by Makarov. Great defense there. And now Lofton Jr. carries it back the other way. Makes a move. And looking to put 2 up. Does off the glass. A dangerous shot there down low by Kenny Lofton Jr. 17-13, a 4-point lead, their largest of the game. That is in favor of Briarwood. Caruso now, guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Throws it back to Williams. Terry takes a loose 3 from the side. Didn't have his feet set very well there. Davies now carrying it into the zone. Tosses back to Lofton Jr. Makarov. Looking for help. Double screen. Lofton Jr. is down low. Gets it. Up over the top. Unable to get anything going as it's rebounded by Vukovic. And Carter carries it down the court with 50 seconds on the clock. Looking to cut into this 4-point lead ahead of halftime. Caruso, guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Switches it up, throws in the corner for Williams. Williams all alone and gets a deep 3 and cuts this lead to 1. 38 seconds on the clock. It's a 1-point game. Lofton Jr. into Tatum. Tosses back to Davies. Almost steps out of bounds there, missing the pass. Montgomery Nelson circling around. Davies from 3. Gets one to fly and gets one in. Great 3 as the lead back up to 4 with just about 24 seconds on the clock. Not a lot of time separating shot and game clock. It's likely this Lake Lauren team will try to bust it down until the final minute. Williams down low. Poorly guarded, but 10 seconds still on the clock as it's a 2-point game. Makarov will wait this clock out now for Briarwood. Back to the top. Deep 3. 1 second on the clock. Lofton Jr. there for the rebound, but nothing going. It's a 2-point game. 20-18 in favor of the Briarwood Infinity. Big night on the side of Lake Lauren. Giannis Antetokounmpo. 7 points. 2 blocks. As we enter halftime. 2-point score here. Briarwood looking to continue their reign of dominance at the top of the table. They are 5-1 entering this game. Lake Lauren 3-3. There you see the upcoming schedule for the Sirens. As we take it back to Midco Arena, entering the second half here, it'll be Lake Lauren ball as they inbound, having lost the tip. The fourth quarter ball will go back to the home crowd, Briarwood Infinity. we mentioned, have only lost one game this year. That was last week in a heartbreaker against Tannerford. Went basically down to the wire. Caruso now carrying down for Lake Lauren, guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Has Antetokounmpo down low in the corner, but can't get past Montgomery Nelson. Finally does. Takes a deep two. Nothing going. Great defense by Makarov. Denatenius now over to Makarov. Makarov carrying around. Puts up a two. Nothing going, but a rebound by Montgomery Nelson. This one not going as well. 2 straight shots missed, and Carter now carrying it down for the Sirens. Double team on Antetokounmpo. Down low is Carter. Terry from deep two. This one not going. He was pushed off his feet there. No foul. Davies now taking it down for the Infinity. Dropping it back to Montgomery Nelson. Deep two. Nothing going. Vukovic up to Caruso. Guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Double teamed. Antetokounmpo with the first successful alley-oop against this Briarwood defense. And trust me, we are in double digits before the first one was successful. Good for Antetokounmpo as he gets another steal. Intercepting that pass. It's a 2020 game. He has Caruso for a deep two. And nothing going. Score remains tied. Johnson carrying it down for the Infinity. Denatenius carrying it around. Looking for a hook shot on Vukovic. A deep two goes. And now Carter carrying it down the other way for the Sirens. 2-point game in favor of the Infinity. Carter beats his man. Back on him is Davies. Davies sticking on him in the paint now. Denatenius there with defense. Makarov gets the rebound. And back the other way now. Fast break. Johnson back to Montgomery Nelson under the basket. Burns Caruso and gets 2 of his own. Antetokounmpo inbounds to Terry. 4-point game. Briarwood, early on in their schedule, had a habit of having close games up to halftime before blowing them away in the second half. Lake Lauren trying to not let that happen today. Caruso down low, guarded well by Makarov. 3 on the clock. Caruso will have to shoot. Going up. Puts a deep 2 ball over the head of Makarov. Nothing going. Rebounded. Makarov now the other way. And fouled hard. But nothing flagrant. He'll take 2 from the line as he misses that one while fouled. League leaders last season around the world. Antetokounmpo, we mentioned, making his appearance for the first time in the Swiss top tier of basketball this season. Makarov drops the first one. He's perfect from the line. 3 for 3. 4 for 4 as it's now a 6-point game. 26-20. And Vukovic inbounds to Caruso as the Sirens hope to finally break down this well-established Briarwood offense. This is their largest lead of the game at 6. Caruso. Over to Terry. Down low to Vukovic on Denatenius. Well blocked. Denatenius gets a hand on it. Montgomery Nelson. Over to the side for Davies. Deep 3. Nothing going. Antetokounmpo with the rebound. Loses the ball. Davies down to Makarov. Has Antetokounmpo on his tail, but gets a slam down, and it's an 8-point lead. Fyodor Makarov continues his aggressive offense. He leads Briarwood in scoring tonight. And Caruso carries it down for the Sirens. Needing something to halt this offense. Vukovic. Over to Antetokounmpo. Guarded by Makarov. Size difference of about half a foot. Takes a deep, unbalanced 3. And just desperate to get some points on the board. Now Johnson down low. Takes it himself. Puts a slam. And a timeout has to be taken by the Sirens as they trail 10 now with a minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. Running it away with it, these hometown Briarwood Infinity who have been so dangerous this season. Williams to inbound. Has Carter. Guarded by Timothy Davies. Back to White. Gets past Johnson. Goes up. Well defended. Great block there by Makarov. He's having an excellent game. Goes down the court the other way now. Looking to put 2 up on offense. Fouled in the act of shooting. He'll take 2 from the line. Already 4 for 4. Hoping to make that a perfect 6. Perfect through 5. 31-20. It's an 11-point lead for Briarwood. A 6th free throw thrown up by Makarov. He is perfect for this game. 12-point lead. White now. Guarded by Johnson. Circling around. Takes a deep three himself. This one nothing going. Makarov with another rebound. Johnson now down the side. Guarded by White. Takes it himself and puts it in there around 2 defenders. 14-point lead for Briarwood with a minute to go here in the third quarter. Derek White. Back to Williams. Guarded by Jason Tatum. Switching up, Denatenius. Gets a hand on Vukovic. Excellent play there. Davies. Looking to burn. Putting up a 2. Nothing going. Vukovic with the rebound. 28 to go. White. Guarded by Denatenius now. Takes a deep 3 spinning around. Nothing going. Makarov. Yet another rebound. No shot clock. 17 seconds on the clock. Davies. Looks to pull back. Tatum for 3. Bang! With a 3. 37-20. It's a 17-point lead for Briarwood off the 3 ball from Tatum. White. Guarded by Makarov. A hand in there and a reach and foul called on the Russian. Be an inbound by Williams with 5.5 on the clock. Down low to Craig. Not a lot of time for Antetokounmpo to rip a 3 ball, but it falls. 2 seconds remain on the clock, and Makarov will get the ball way down the court and take a deep 3. Nothing going. It's a 14-point lead, 37-23, off of back-to-back answering threes, first by Tatum and then by Antetokounmpo. Briarwood will have the ball to start the fourth quarter. And desperation time for the Sirens. Had a promising-looking season. They started 2-0. Now, as we mentioned, 3-3. Sitting about halfway down the table. Christopher dropping back to Makarov. Makarov pulling into a crowded left side of the court. And Tatum looking for help. Makarov there to help. Sets up a successful screen. Now on Antetokounmpo. Nothing going. He has another block as he swats that away, but it stays in possession with 5 seconds on the shot clock for Briarwood. Back out to the side. Montgomery Nelson needs to rip a 3 ball. And this one falls at the last second. A 3 ball from CMN, his first of the game. And it's a 40-23 game, a 17-point lead as White carries it down the court for a desperate-looking Siren side. Antetokounmpo with the deep 2 ball. He has 14 points. He's 55% from the field. Tatum dropping back to Lofton Jr. Tries to carry it low. Looking to burn his defender. Puts an excellent hook shot there, but it bounces over, and Antetokounmpo there to carry it down the court now the other way. 15-point lead for Briarwood. Guarded well by Lofton, but a foul called as he touches Antetokounmpo in the act of shooting. Giannis from the line. Perfect so far. He's only shot 1. Here's his second of the game. Up and good, 2 for 2. 14-point lead in favor of Briarwood. This crowd very loud, very into it. Hoping to help this team out of the funk that they suffered last week here against Tannerford. Shot by Antetokounmpo. Up and good. He's 3 for 3 from the line. 13-point lead. Makarov down the court now for Briarwood. Over to the side, Montgomery Nelson. Down low is Tatum. Takes a deep 3. This one, bang! Another 3 for Tatum. He is 2 for 2 in his last 2. Tatum with the defense. Rebounded by guess who? Fedor Makarov. Down the side, Montgomery Nelson. Up against Antetokounmpo. Steps out of bounds. Great defense by Antetokounmpo as it'll go back the other way with a 16-point lead. Briarwood over the Sirens of Lake Lauren. Carrying it down for the Sirens, Antetokounmpo. Guarded by Makarov. Gets past him. Takes one from the free throw line. Doesn't go. Makarov with the rebound. Montgomery Nelson now. Down low. Hook shot over the top. He has 2 more. 18-point lead. 45-27 with 3 to go. Caruso not very well guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Montgomery Nelson finally Back on his feet, Caruso isolated. Looking to charge in, lose the ball. Denatenius picks it up. Davies looks for Makarov. Guarded well by Antetokounmpo. Denatenius now. Back to Makarov for 3. Doesn't go, but there is Johnson. Puts 2 up. And it's a 20-point lead with 2.5 to go. As Briarwood closing this one down, looking to go 6-1 on the season. Caruso down low, guarded by Makarov. Great swat. It'll be out of bounds and in possession of the Sirens, but Fyodor Makarov having himself a hell of a game. Timeout taken by the Sirens as they regroup with the ball underneath their own net. Antetokounmpo looking to get open. Throws it out to Vukovic to the side. 14 on the clock. Terry now. Top of the key is Caruso, guarded by Montgomery Nelson. Looking for 3 ball. 7 on the clock. Guarded well. 3 to shoot. Has to shoot. Goes up. Over Montgomery Nelson. Deep. Unbalanced 3. And another one misses for Lake Lauren. Denatenius. Up to Makarov. Guarded well by Antetokounmpo. Denatenius now. Over Antetokounmpo. Another block by the Greek Freak. Carter. Back the other way for the Sirens. He's at the top of the key. Has Vukovic for a 3. And Vukovic drains a 3. As it's a 17-point lead and a timeout taken by Briarwood with 1:49 to go. Denatenius. Inbounds, intercepted by Caruso. Johnson, back on his feet, great defense. Has to throw it back to Terry. Down low back to Caruso again. Denatenius with the swat. Vukovic puts it up and finally goes for the Sirens. So a 15-point lead now. Game not over yet, but Briarwood looking to close down as Denatenius puts 2 up on the board, and it's a 17-point lead with 1:30. Antetokounmpo. Double teamed. Makarov. Back on Antetokounmpo. Vukovic down low, guarded by Denatenius. Looking to put one up. Spins around. Great move, but it doesn't go. Davies rebounds. Over to Makarov. Up to Johnson. Down low. Puts a 2-ball up, and this one is getting close to being away. It's a 19-point lead with a little over a minute to go. Antetokounmpo back with the ball for the Sirens. Drops it back to Carter. Vukovic. Terry. Antetokounmpo, guarded by Makarov. Down low is Vukovic. Puts a 2 off the glass. 50 seconds, 17-point game. Makarov. Back to Denatenius. Back to Davies. Looking to pull out. Back to Montgomery Nelson. Drains a 3, does not drain a 3. Shoots a 3, bounces off the rim, and is rebounded by Antetokounmpo. Caruso now. Vukovic from the side. Down low is Antetokounmpo, guarded by Davies in quite a height mismatch. And Antetokounmpo now, continuing his stretch of points, 15-point lead with 15 on the clock. Makarov, guarded by Antetokounmpo. You have to think he'll slow this game down and potentially shoot a last-second bucket just for fun. But this one all but over. Briarwood advancing to 6-1 and advancing to 3-4 with this loss. The Lake Lauren Sirens. Excellent effort made by Giannis Antetokounmpo, but in the end, it was all about Fyodor Makarov. He is our man of the match. An excellent game by the Russian from Nizhny Novgorod. So for Lake Lauren basketball, they continue 3-4. There you see our New Balance player of the game, Fyodor Makarov, as he leads this team to a 6-1 start on the season. Excellent topping of the charts by the Briarwood Infinity. For Briarwood Infinity basketball, we will see you back here next week. Until next time, we'll see you very, very soon.